Another reason why I don't date outside my race is because even though both my parents are black, my genetics are a little bit shaky.
Allow me to expand on the word shaky genetics that this lady has used in this video. What does it mean to have
My genetics are a little bit shaky.
individual to say that? Shaky genetics, this term right here, is not a scientifically recognized term, but it can be interpreted to refer to genetics predispositions that may increase the risk of certain health conditions. What are those? In the context of individuals of African ancestry, recent research has highlighted specific genetics variants that are associated with an increased risk for various diseases, including Parkinson's disease. I must note this. She might have mentioned that word in her conversation without necessarily meaning this, but I felt that it's necessary that we highlight on that. It might help someone.
Another reason why I don't date outside my race is because even though both my parents are black, my genetics are a little bit shaky. I cannot guarantee that if I had a child with a non-black man, that child would also look black. It would probably come out racially ambiguous. Like, I would say 65% chance. I don't want to have to go through that whole conversation of having to explain to you why I can call you nigga, but you can't call me nigga. I don't want to have to go through a conversation of why you shouldn't be showing me to your friends, explaining that you're black. On top of the fact that if my child chooses to have kids with a non-black person, there goes our lineage. We look like Diana Ross's family. I only date black men. I don't want you to get it twisted to where you think that I'm against interracial dating. I heard a lot of black women, specifically dark-skinned women, talking about how they feel unappreciated by black men, and so they switch sides. Not necessarily going to white men, but going where they feel loved. I'm all for that. Y'all do dark-skinned women wrong. And a lot of the times when dark-skinned women feel unappreciated and feel undesirable, it's because of y'all. Y'all as in black men. So I'm not saying that you're all that way and you all make dark-skinned women feel like you hate them, but a lot of you do. And me as a light-skinned black woman, I would be wrong to say that all black people should feel obligated to be with each other, while also knowing how dark-skinned black women are made to feel. I just so happen to be somebody who doesn't feel underappreciated by black men. Is that a little bit strange considering the fact that I know that there's other black women who have completely different experiences? Yes, and that's a problem. My experience is not everybody's experience. So let's not leave that unsaid.
Why don't I identify as black?
What is my race? I'm black.
I just want to remind people that being mixed is not a race. It means that you're two things. It means you're a part of two completely different cultures. There's no one culture associated with being mixed. So while your race is based on your phenotype and what you present to the world as, your ethnicity is based on your heritage. Sophia Richie, regardless of what she presents as, a white woman, regardless of what she presents as, culturally she is black. So this whole little debate about her race and, all of these things, throw it away. If you saw that woman walking down the street, you would think she's white. So let's just cut the BS right now. Now, this is why it's important to know the difference between race and ethnicity. Because here in this country, your race is what you present as. There is no culture associated with being multiple different races here. So I don't know why y'all are trying to create this third category of mixed people. No, I'm not understanding why that's so hard to digest. It's possible to be a racially white woman and a ethnically black woman. So culturally, she experiences black culture because that's what she was raised as. That's who her family is. But phenotypically, yes, that's a white woman. All of these debates about her having culture and rhythm and things like that, like, y'all are pissing me off.
What is my race? I'm black. And though I don't need to elaborate on that, I kind of feel like you want me to, and for educational purposes, I will. I am also biracial or multiracial because one of my parents is black and one of my parents is white. But multiracial and biracial are both very broad categories, so they're not specific enough to be a racial group. Therefore, my race is black. I also recognize that as a light-skinned, multiracial black person who looks how I look, I experience anti-black racism, but I also experience benefits from colorism, featureism, and texturism. My ethnicity is also black. Contextually understood that means Black American. I am also ethnically Italian American and Greek American. Identifying as black or black and biracial is the most common racial identity pattern for people with my racial mixture. But there are plenty of other ways that multiracial people choose to identify that are not the same as I do.
Why don't I identify as black? Hi, I'm Hannah. We're going to have open, honest, and kind conversations about race. In particular, my experience as a mixed race woman. So I've been asked this question a few times, and it is a very delicate subject. But to me, the explanation is quite simple. And I think this is a widely experienced struggle amongst a lot of mixed race people. I would like to preface by saying I have seen a big difference between the culture of being black in the US versus the UK. I am from the UK. Like, for example, you have Afro-Americans. We don't have Afro-English. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. The culture is very different. So if I say something that might not sit right with you and you're American, that might be why. But from my experience, I would never call myself black, and I would also never call myself white. And it's pretty much for the same reason on both ends. I'm not just white, I am also black, and I'm not just black, I'm also white. To me, percentage of DNA doesn't matter. I think your life experience, how you grew up, the culture you were raised in, your family, a load of traditions, there is a million different things that make you a race other than your features, your skin colour, you know, your hair type. If I was gonna call myself a white person, then I know visually looking at me, like, I mean, you can't really see my hair right now, but looking at me, a lot of people would assume I was white, or some people say that they can see that I'm mixed, but I don't think anyone would ever look at me and say I'm black. My skin isn't that dark, and I think that is one of the main reasons people call themselves black is because of their black skin. So while I have black in me, I don't present as a black woman. In my opinion, I present as a mixed woman. And I think there is definitely a difference between black, mixed and white. And speaking from a mixed person's perspective, there's some parts of being a white person that I can identify with because I know I'm white passing, so some elements of white privilege. But there's some things I can't fully identify with about being white. The same can be said for black people. There's some things that I'll never really experience, such as like, you know, really intense racism because of the colour of my skin. I don't have that colour skin. But there are some things that I can relate with, like microaggressions and hair problems. So if I went around calling myself white, I'm basically pretending that half of my life doesn't exist. The black side of my family, all of my black experiences. And the exact same can be said if I call myself black, then I'm ignoring all of the white experiences and white family that I have. So to me, calling myself mixed summarizes it perfectly. I'm not white, I'm not black, I'm both. I'm in the middle, I'm mixed. I do understand, and I have seen this more on the American side of TikTok, how important it is for some people to hold on to their black identity, and they encourage me themselves to call myself black. But I also think by doing that, I would be insulting like probably a large amount of people who wouldn't consider me black. Like, it's kind of a challenge on where you fit in, because I could say one thing and some people will be happy, some people won't be. And to me, I don't want to create discomfort for people. I don't want to offend people, especially because I hold the black side of my family so dear to my heart. I wouldn't want to offend a huge community like that after all the struggles that we've already been through. Mixed race is its own race, and it's a very colourful race. There is every skin tone, every eye colour, every feature, every hair type. There's every body type, you know, it's everything. And no two mixed race people look the same. You might have a stereotype in your brain of what a mixed race person looks like, but I can tell you now, they don't look like that. I hope to continue to talk about this in a positive, informative, educational way, that in the comments we can have an open discussion and help each other understand things that we might be missing or that we might not know about. Because I think it's time we started talking about race in a positive way, in a way that is accepting to everybody and is a way of encouraging and learning and adapting. With increasing access to travel and online dating, we're gonna see a lot more interracial relationships, and you're gonna see a lot more mixed race babies, and you're gonna have to accept the fact at some point that they're not all gonna look the exact same way that you think they will. You're gonna see a lot of people that are like What are they? I don't know. But that's not for you to decide what they are. It doesn't make a difference to your life. Just accept people as they come. And if I tell you I'm mixed race, believe it, because I wouldn't lie. And just love people for deeper than their skin tone. Get to know the person, get to know their story. Rather than tell them what they are, ask. Ask about their life. Ask about their heritage. Because I'm sure that you might learn some things that you didn't know. Maybe you can relate on some things. Maybe you've got a cultural dish that you both really, really like and you just wasn't expecting this white presenting person to even know what it was. As much as there's hate in the world, there can equally be the same amount, if not hopefully more, of joy, love and acceptance. So hi, I'm Hannah. I'm 24. I'm mixed race. I'm from the UK. And this is what I look like.
Sure, we've learned a few things, though this subject is always confusing. But I guess you understand something from this video. So going back to the point that this girl heard, looking at her, you would think that she's mixed. And she got a lot of these comments when she says, I am black with both black parents. But people still doubt if she's really black. Looking at her, and I think that could be the worry that she's having, as she mentioned here.
I cannot guarantee that if I had a child with a non-black man, that child would also look black.
The only fear that she has to do with the child that she'll bring in this world, and it's a very good concern as a future mother to be to think of. It means she's not selfish in what I've seen here. She's thinking about even the child that she's going to bring into this world and how will the society perceive that child due to how she's looking, and she's feeling like if I end up with a white guy, my child will be confused, will be looked as white, and yeah, kind of she doesn't want to lose the black trace in her. And yeah, I think that's where she referred to it, the shakiness of her genetics. And I love her perception of things. I love people who think about their future, and even she has really projected, and she knows, she's conscious of what she's doing. These are my thoughts on this. People have different reasons why they wouldn't want to do interracial marriages. That has to do with belief, with religion, with their personal biases, and racism and other things. There's a lot to say. There's a lot. Like, this was her reason, and it was so unique. That's why I decided to bring this video here. Hope this video was helpful, and I appreciate that you spent your precious time with me. Click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and goodbye for now. I appreciate your precious time with me. Thanks.